do not meet a man but frowns.
What's the matter?
His daughter and the heir of his kingdom, who he purposed to his wife's sole son, a widow that late he married, hath referred herself unto a poor but worthy gentleman. She's wedded, her husband banished, she imprisoned, all is outward sorrow, though I think the king be touched at very heart.
None but the king.
He that hath lost her too. So is the queen that most desired the match, but not a courtier, although they wear their faces to the bent of the king's looks, hath a heart that is not glad at the thing they scowl at.
And why so?
He that hath missed the princess is a thing too bad for report. And he that hath her, that married her, alack, good man.
You speak him far. What's his name?
Posthumous Leonatus.
I honor him, even out of your report. But pray you tell me, is she sole child to the king?
His only child. He had 2 sons. If this be worth your hearing, mark it. The eldest of them at 3 years old, in the swaddling clothes the other, from their nursery were stolen. And to this hour, no guess in knowledge which way they went.
How long is this ago?
Some 20 years.
For the king's children should be so conveyed, so slackly guarded, and the search so slow that could not trace them.
We must forbear. Here comes the gentleman, the queen, and the princess.
No, be assured you shall not find me, daughter. After the slander of most stepmothers evil-eyed unto you, you are my prisoner. But your jailer shall deliver you the keys that lock up your restraint. For you, Posthumous, so soon as I can win the offended king, I will be known your advocate. Marry, yet the fire of rage is in him, and 'twere good you leaned unto his sentence with what patience your wisdom may inform you.
Please, your highness, go from hence today.
You know the peril. I'll fetch a turn about the garden, pitying the pangs of barred affections, though the king hath charged you should not speak together.
Assembling courtesy. How fine this tyrant can tickle where she wounds. My dearest husband, I something fear my father's wrath. You must be gone.
I will remain, the loyalest husband that the heir plight troth. My residence in Rome at one Philario's, who to my father was a friend, to me, known but by letters, did write, my queen. With mine eyes, I'll drink the words you said, though ink be made of gold.
Be brief, I pray you. If the king come, I shall incur I know not how much of his displeasure. Yet I'll move him to walk this way.
Adieu.
Nay, stay a little. Look here, love. This diamond was my mother's. Take it, heart. But keep it till you woo another wife when Imogen is dead.
How? Another? And sweetest, fairest, for my sake, wear this. It is a manacle of. I place it upon the fairest prisoner.
Oh, the gods, when shall we see again?
Alack, the king.
Thou basest thing, avoid, hence from my sight. If after this command thou froth the court with thy unworthiness, thou diest. Away, thou poison to my blood.
The gods protect you, and bless the good remainders of this court. I am gone.
There cannot be a pinch in death more sharp than this is.
O disloyal thing, that shouldst repair my youth, thou heapst a year's age on me.
I beseech you, sir, harm not yourself with your vexation. I am senseless of your wrath. A touch more rare subdues all pangs, all fears.
That mightst have had a sole son of my queen.
Oh, blessed that I might not. I chose an eagle and did avoid a puttock.
Thou tookst a beggar, O thou vile one.
Sir, it is your fault that I have loved Posthumous. You bred him as my playfellow, and he is a man worth any woman.
What, art thou mad?
Almost, sir. Heaven restore me. Would I were a neat herd's daughter, and my Leonatus our neighbor's shepherd's son.
How foolish thing. They were again together. You have done not after our command. Away with her and pen her up.
Beseech your patience. Peace, dear lady, daughter, peace. And sweet sovereign, leave us to ourselves and make yourself some comfort.
Nay, let her languish and being aged die of this folly.
Here's your servant. How now, sir? What news?
My lord, your son drew on my master.
No harm, I trust, is done?
There might have been, but that my master rather played than fought, and had no help of anger. They were parted by gentlemen at hand.
I'm very glad on't.
Why came you from your master?
On his command. He would not suffer me to bring him to the haven. Left these notes of what commands I should be subject to, when it please you to employ me.
Pray, walk a while.
About some half hour hence, I pray you, speak with me. You shall at least go see my lord aboard. For this time, leave me.
Sir, I would advise you to shift a shirt. The violence of action hath made you reek as a sacrifice.
If my shirt were bloody, then just shift it. Have I hurt him?
No, Faith, not so much as his patience.
Hurt him? His body's a passable carcass if he be not hurt.
How would they not come between us?
So would I, till you had measured how long a fool you were upon the ground.
That she should love this fellow and refuse me?
Sir, as I have told you always, her beauty and her brain go not together.
Come, I'll to my chamber. Would there have been some hurt done?
Oh, I wish not so, unless it had been the fall of an ass, which is no great hurt.
Believe it, sir. I've seen him in Britain. But how comes it he is to sojourn with you? How creeps acquaintance?
His father and I were soldiers together, to whom I have been often bound for no less than my life. Ah, here comes the Briton. I beseech you all, be better known to this gentleman, who I commend to you as a noble friend of mine.
Sir, we have known together in Orleans.
Sir, I was a young traveler. I was shunned to go even with than in my every action to be guided by others' experiences. But upon mended judgment, if I am not to say it is mended, quarrel not altogether slight.
Faith, yes, to be put to the arbitrament of swords.
And we with manners ask what was the difference?
It was much like an argument that fell out last night, where each of us fell in praise of our country mistresses. This gentleman at the time vouching, and upon warrant of bloody affirmation, his to be more fair, virtuous, wise, chaste, constant, qualified, and less attemptable than any, the rarest of our ladies in France.
That lady is not now living, or this gentleman's opinion by this worn out.
She holds her virtue still, and I mine.
You must not so far prefer her for ours of Italy. As fair and as good a kind of hand-in-hand comparison had been something too fair and too good for any lady in Britain. If she went before others, I have seen as that diamond of yours outlusters many I have beheld. I could not believe she excellent many, but I have not seen the most precious diamond that is, nor you, the lady.
I praised her as I rated her, so my stone.
What do you esteem it at?
More than the world enjoys?
Either your unparagoned mistress is dead, or she's outprized by a trifle.
You are mistaken. One may be sold or given if there are wealth enough to purchase it or merit for a gift. The other is not a thing for sale, and only a gift of God.
Which the gods have given you?
Which by their graces I will keep.
I dare thereupon pawn the moiety of my estate to your ring, which in my opinion overvalues it something, but I make my wager rather against your confidence than her reputation. And to bar your offense herein, I durst attempt it against any lady in the world.
You are a great deal abused in too bold a persuasion.
Gentlemen, enough of this. It came in too suddenly, let it die as it was born. I pray you, be better acquainted.
Would I had put my estate and my neighbors on the approbation of what I have spoke.
What lady would you choose to assail?
Yours. Whom in constancy you think stands so safe. I will lay you 10,000 ducats to your ring, that commend me to the court where your lady is, with no more advantage than the opportunity of a second conference. And I will bring from thence that honor of hers which you imagine so reserved.
I will wage against your gold to it. My ring, dear as my finger.
You're afraid therein the wiser.
I shall but lend my diamond till your return. Let there be confidences drawn between. My mistress exceeds in the hugeness of your unworthy thinking. I dare you to this match. Here's my ring.
If I bring you no sufficient testimony that I have enjoyed the dearest bodily part of your mistress, my 10,000 ducats are yours, so is your diamond too. If I come off and leave her in such honor as you have trust in, she your jewel, this your jewel, and my gold, all yours.
I embrace these conditions. Let us have articles between us. Thus far you shall answer. she remain unseduced, you not making it appear otherwise, for ill opinion and the assault you have made to her chastity, you shall answer me with your sword.
Your hand, a covenant. We will have these things set down by lawful consent, and straight away for Britain.
Will this hold, think you?
Signor Iachimo will not from it. Pray, let us follow them.
Now, Master Doctor, have you brought those drugs?
Pleaseth your highness, aye. Here they are, madam.
Oh.
But I beseech your grace, without offense, my conscience bids me ask, wherefore you have commanded of me those most poisonous compounds, which are the movers of a languishing death?
I wonder, Doctor, thou asked me such a question. I will try the forces of these thy compounds on such creatures as we count not worth the hanging, but none human.
Your highness shall from this practice but make hard your heart. Besides, the seeing these effects will be both noisome and infectious.
Oh, content thee. Here comes a flattering rascal. Upon him will I first work. He's for his master, an enemy to my son. How now, Pisanio? Doctor, your service for this time is ended. Take your own way.
I do suspect you, madam, but you shall do no harm.
Hark thee, a word.
I do not like her. She doth think she has strange lingering poisons. I do know her spirit, and will not trust one of her malice with a drug of such damned nature. Those she has will stupefy and dull the sense a while. But there is no danger in what show of death it makes, more than the locking up the spirits a time, to be more fresh, reviving. She is fooled with a most false effect, and I, the truer, so to be false with her.
Weeps she still, sayest thou? Do thou work. When thou shalt bring me word, she loves my son, I'll tell thee on the instant, thou art then as great as is thy master. Oh, thou takest up, thou knowst not what, but take it for thy labor. It is a thing I made, which hath the king 5 times redeemed from death. I do not know what is more cordial. Tell thy mistress how the case stands with her. Do it as from thyself. Think what a chance thou changest on. I'll move the king to any shape of thy preferment, such as thou'lt desire. Fare thee well, Pisanio. Think on my words.
And shall do. But when to my lord I prove untrue, I'll choke myself. There's all I'll do for you.
A father cruel and a stepdame false, a foolish suitor to a wedded lady that hath her husband banished. Oh, that husband, my supreme crown of grief, and those repeated vexations of it. Had I been thief stolen as my 2 brothers, happy.
Madam, a noble gentleman of Rome comes from my lord with letters.
The worthy Leonatus is in safety and greets your highness dearly.
Thanks, good sir, you are kindly welcome.
Boldness be my friend, arm me audacity from head to foot.
He's one of the noblest note, to whose kindnesses I am most infinitely tied. Reflect upon him accordingly as you value your trust, Leonatus. So far I read aloud. Even the very middle of my heart is warmed by the rest and takes it thankfully. You are as welcome, worthy sir, as I have words to bid you, and shall find it so in all that I can do.
Thanks, fairest lady. What, are men mad? Hath nature given them eyes to see this valued arch in the rich crop of sea and land, which can distinguish twixt the fiery orbs above and the twinned stones upon the numbered beach? And can we not partition make with spectacles so precious twixt fair and foul?
What makes your admiration?
It cannot be in the eye, for apes and monkeys twixt to such cheese would chatter this way and contemn with mouths the other, nor in the judgment for idiots in this case of favor would be wisely definite, nor in the appetite. Sluttery to such neat excellence opposed should make desire vomit, emptiness not so allured to feed.
What is the matter, Dro?
The cloyed will, that satiate yet unsatisfied desire, that tub both filled and running, ravening first the lamb, longs after for the garbage.
What, dear sir, thus raps you? Are you well?
Thanks, madam. Well, beseech you, sir, desire my man's abode where I did leave him. He is strange and peevish.
Continues well, my lord. His health, beseech you?
Well, madam.
Is he disposed to mirth? I hope he is.
Oh, exceeding pleasant. None a stranger there, so merry and so gamesome. He's called the Britain Reveller.
When he was here, he did incline to sadness.
I never saw him sad. There's a Frenchman, his companion, one an eminent monsieur, that it seems much loves a galleon girl at home. He furnaces the thick sighs from him, whilst the jolly Briton, your lord, I mean, laughs from free lungs, cries, "How can my sides hold to think that man who knows by history report or his own proof what woman is, yeah, what she cannot choose but must be, will his free hours languish for a short bondage?"
Will my lord say so?
Ay, madam, with his eyes in flood with laughter, it is a recreation to be by and hear him mock the Frenchman. But heaven knows, some men are much to blame.
Not he, I hope.
Oh, not he. But yet heaven's bounty towards him might be used more thankfully. In himself 'tis much, in you, which I account his beyond all talents, whilst I am bound to wonder, I'm bound to pity too.
What do you pity, sir?
That others do, I was about to say, enjoy your, it's an office of the gods to venge it, not mine to speak on it. So.
You do seem to know something of me or what concerns me. Pray you discover to me what both you spur and stop.
By this cheek to bathe my lips upon, this hand, whose every touch would force the feeler's soul to the oath of loyalty, this object which takes prisoner the wild motion of mine eye, fixing it only here.
Let me hear no more.
Oh, dearest soul, your cause doth strike my heart with pity that doth make me sick. A lady so fair and fastened to an empery would makes the great king double. Be revenged.
Revenged? How should I be revenged?
Should he make me live like Diana's priest betwixt cold sheets while he is vaulting variable ramps in your despite upon your purse? Revenge it. I dedicate myself to your sweet pleasure, more noble than that runget to your bed, and will continue fast to your affection, still close as sure.
What ho, Pisanio?
Let me my service tender on your lips.
Away! I do condemn mine ears that have so long attended thee. If thou wert honorable, thou wouldst have told this tale for virtue, not for such an end thou seekest, as base as strange. Thou wrongst a gentleman who is as far from thy report as thou from honor, and solicitest here a lady that disdains thee and the devil alike. What ho, Pisanio? The king my father shall be made acquainted of thy assault. If he shall think it fit, a saucy stranger in his court to mart as in a Romish stew, and to expound his beastly mind to us, he hath the court he little cares for, and a daughter who he not respects at all. What ho, Pisanio?
Happy Leonatus. I may say the credit that thy lady hath of thee deserves thy trust, and thy most perfect goodness her assured credit. Give me your pardon. I've spoke this to know if your affiance were deeply rooted.
You make amends.
Be not angry, most mighty princess, that I have adventured to try your taking a false report, which hath honored with confirmation your great judgment in the election of a sir so rare, which you know cannot err. The love I bear him made me to fan you thus, but the gods made you unlike all others. Chapless, pray, your pardon.
All's well, sir. Take my power in the court for yours.
My humble thanks. I almost forgot to entreat your grace, but a small request, and yet of moment too, for it concerns your lord, myself and other noble friends are partners in the business.
Pray, what is it?
Some dozen Romans of us and your lord the best feather of our wing, have mingled sums to buy a present for the emperor, which I, the factor for the rest, have done in France. 'Tis a plate of rare device and jewels of rich and exquisite form. Their value's great, and I am something curious, being strange, to have them in a safe stowage. May it please you to take them in protection?
Willingly. Since my lord hath interest in them, I will keep them in my bedchamber.
They're in a trunk, attended by my men. I will make bold to send them to you only for this night. Therefore I shall beseech you, if you please, to greet your lord with writing, do it tonight. I've outstood my time.
I will write. Send your trunk to me, it shall safe be kept and truly yielded you. You're very welcome.
Did you hear of a stranger that's come to court tonight?
Stranger, and I know not on't.
He's a strange fellow himself, and he knows it not.
There's an Italian come, and 'tis thought of one of Leonatus's friends.
Leonatus, a banished rascal, and he's another whatsoever he be. Come, I'll go see this Italian. What I have lost today at bowls, I'll win tonight of him. Come.
I'll attend your lordship. That such a crafty devil as his mother should yield the world this ass.
Oh, God, I have read 3 hours then. My eyes are weak. Fold down the leaf where I have left. Bed. Sleep hath seized me wholly. To your protection I commend me, gods from fairies, and the tempters of the night guard me. Beseech ye.
The crickets sing, and man's o'erlabored sense repairs itself by rest. Our Tarquin thus did softly press the rushes ere he wakened the chastity he wounded. Cytherea, how bravely thou becomest thy bed, fresh lily, and whiter than the sheets that I might touch. A kiss, one kiss. Rubies unparagoned, how dearly they do it. But my design, to note the chamber, I'll write all down. Such and such pictures, there the window, such the adornment of her bed, the heiress figures, why such and such, and the contents of the story. But some natural notes about her body. Above 10,000 meaner movables would testify to enrich mine inventory. Sleep. Thou ape of death, lie dull upon her, and be her sense but as a monument thus in a chapel lying. Come off. Off. Is mine, and this will witness outwardly as strongly as the conscience does within to the matting of her lord. On her left breast, a mole, spotted like the crimson drops in the bottom of a cowslip. Here's a voucher stronger than ever law could make. This secret will force him think I have picked the lock and ta'en the treasure of her honor. I have enough. Ugh. To the trunk again. Shut the spring of it. Swift, swift, you dragons of the night, that dawning may bear the raven's eye. I lodge in fear, though this a heavenly angel, hell is here.
Yeah, if I could get this foolish Imogen, I should have gold enough. It's almost morning, is it not?
Day, my lord.
This music would come. I'm advised to give her music of mornings. They say it will penetrate. Come on, tune. If you can penetrate her with your fingering, so we'll try with tongue too. If none will do, let her remain, but I'll never give o'er.
Hark, hark, the lark at heaven's gate sings, and fever skins arise, his steeds to water at those springs. On chalice flowers that lies, and winking merry buds begins to ope their golden eyes with everything that pretty is. My lady sweet, arise.
Yeah, so get you gone. If this penetrate, I will consider your music the better. If it do not, it is a vice in our ears, which horse hairs and calves' guts, nor the voice of unpaid eunuch to boot.
Here comes the king.
Good morrow to your majesty and to my gracious mother.
Attend you here the door of our stern daughter? Will she not forth?
I have assailed her with music, but she vouchsafes no notice.
The exile of her minion is too new. She hath not yet forgot him. Some more time must wear the print of his remembrance out, and then she's yours. Ambassadors from Rome? Oh, Caius Lucius, now he's a worthy fellow. Albeit he comes on angry purpose now, but that's no fault of his. Oh, our dear son, when you have given good morning to your mistress, attend the queen and us. We shall have need to employ you towards this Roman. Come, our queen.
If she be up, I'll speak with her. If not, let her lie still and dream. By your leave, ho! I know her women are about her. What if I do lime one of their hands? 'Tis gold which buys admittance, oft it doth. What can it not do and undo? I will make one of her women lawyer to me, for I yet not understand the case myself. Good morrow, fairest sister, your sweet hand.
Good morrow, sir. You lay out too much pains for purchasing but trouble. The thanks I give is telling you that I am poor of thanks and scarce can spare them.
Still, I swear I love you.
If you swear still, your recompense is still that I regard it not.
This is no answer.
I pray you, spare me. One of your great knowing should learn being taught forbearance.
Leave you in your madness toward my sin. I will not.
Fools are not mad folks.
Do you call me fool?
As I am mad, I do. I am much sorry, sir. You put me to forget a lady's manners by being so verbal. And learn now for all that I, which know my heart, do here pronounce by the very truth of it, I care not for you, and am so near the lack of charity to accuse myself. I hate you, which I had rather you felt than make it my boast.
You sin against obedience, which you owe your father. For the contract you pretend with that base wretch, one bread of alms and fostered with cold dishes, with scraps of the court, it is no contract, none.
Profane fellow, wert thou the son of Jupiter and no more, but what thou art besides, thou wert too base to be his groom.
Thou flog rot him.
He can never meet more mischance than come to be but named of thee. His meanest garment that ever hath but clipped his body is dearer in my respect than all the hairs above thee, were they all made such men. How now, Pisanio?
Garment, now the devil.
I am sprited with a fool. Search for a jewel that too casually hath left mine arm. It was thy master's. Shrew me if I would lose it for a revenue of any kings in Europe. I do think I saw it this morning. Confident I am last night 'twas on my arm. I hope so. Go and search.
You have abused me, his meanest garment.
I said so, sir. If you will make it an action, call witness to it.
I will inform your father.
Your mother, too. She's my good lady and will conceive, I hope, but the worst of me. So I leave you, sir, to the worst of discontent.
I'll be revenged, his meanest garment. Well!
Fear it not, sir. Would I were so sure to win the king as I am bold, honor will remain hers.
What means do you make to him?
But abide the change of time, quake in the present winter, and wish warm days would come.
No, by this, your king hath heard of great Augustus. Caius Lucius will do his commission thoroughly, and I think he'll grant the tribute, send the arrearages, or look upon our Romans, whose remembrance is yet fresh in their grief.
I do believe, though I am none, nor like to be, that this prove a war.
See! Iachimo, welcome, sir.
Ha! I hope the briefness answer may of your return.
Your lady is one of the fairest that I have looked upon.
And therewithal the best. Sparkles this stone as it wont, or is it not too dull for your good wearing?
If I had lost it, I should have lost the worth of it in gold. I'll make a journey twice as far to enjoy a second night of such sweet shortness, which was mine in Britain, for the ring is won.
The stone's too hard to come by.
Not a whit, your lady being so easy.
Mister, loss your sport. I hope you know must not continue friends.
Good sir, we must, if you keep covenant. Had I not brought the knowledge of your mistress home, I grant we were to question further, but I now profess myself the winner of her honor, together with your ring, and not the wronger of her or you, having proceeded by both your wills.
If you can get apparent that you have taken back my hand and ring is yours, not the foul opinion you have her or gains or loses your sword or mine, or masterless these both, to whom shall find them?
Sir, my circumstances, being so near the truth as I will make them, must first induce you to believe. First, her bedchamber, where I confess I slept not, but profess had that was well worth watching. It was hanged with a tapestry of silk and silver.
This is true. You might have heard of here, by me or by some other.
More particulars must justify my knowledge.
So they must, or do your honor injury.
The chimney is south the chamber, and the chimney piece chaste Diane, bathing.
This is a thing which you might from relation likewise reap, being as it is much spoke of.
The roof of the chamber with golden cherubims is fretted.
This is her honor. Let it be granted you've seen all this, and be given a remembrance. The description of what chamber nothing saves the wage you have laid.
Then, if you can, be pale. I beg but leave to air this jewel. See? Now 'tis up again. It must be married to that your diamond. I'll keep 'em.
Jove, once let me behold it. Is it that which I left with her?
Sir, I thank her that she stripped it from her arm. I see her yet. Her pretty action did outsell her gift, and yet enriched it too. She gave it me and said she prized it once.
No, 'tis true. Here, this too, huh? It is a basilisk of mine. Kills me to look on. Let there be no honor where there is beauty. There be no honor where there is beauty. Oh. Lord, my page, bear with me, world. I scroll.
Honor was basically the theme of my story there.
Oh, it was? I am so close. Ha.
Honor on her.
Honor on her. I get it. Let there be no honor. Beauty. Truth, where semblance, love, where there's another. The vows of women of no more bondage be to where they're made than they are to their virtues, which is nothing. Above false.
Have patience, sir, and take your ring again. 'Tis not yet won. It may be probable she lost it, or who knows if one of her women, being corrupted, hath stolen it from her.
Very true. And so I came by it. Back my ring. Oh, render me some corporal sign about her, more evident than this, for this was stolen.
By Jupiter, I had it from her arm.
Hark you, he swears, Jupiter, he swears 'tis true. Nay, keep the ring. 'Tis true, I am sure. She would not lose it. Her attendants are all sworn and honorable. They induced to steal it by a stranger. He hath injured her.
Oh.
The cognizance of her inconstancy is this: she has bought the name of whore thus dearly.
Sir, be patient. This is not strong enough to be believed of one persuaded well.
Never talk. She hath been culted by him.
If you seek for further satisfying under her breast, worthy the pressing, lies a mole. Right proud of that most delicate lodging. By my life, I kissed it, and it gave me present hunger to feed again, though full. You do remember the stain upon her?
Aye, it doth confirm another stain. as big as hell can hold, where there no more but it.
Will you hear more?
Spare your arithmetic, never count the turns. Oh, that I had her here to her limb meal. I will go there and do it. In the court, before her father, I'll do something.
Quite besides the government of patience. You have won. Let's follow him and pervert the present wrath he hath against himself.
With all my heart.
Is there no way for men to be, but women must be half workers? We are all bastard. And that most venerable man, which I did call my father, was I know not where I was. Some coiner with his tool made me a counterfeit. My mother seemed the die at that time, so doth my wit the nonpareil of this vengeance. I thought her as chill as unsunned snow. Could I find out the woman's part in me? For there's no motion that tends to vice man, but I affirm it is woman's part. I put it, the woman's, flattering, hers, deceiving, hers, lust and rank thought, hers ambitions, covetings, changes of pride, disdain, nice longing, slanders, mutability, all faults that may be named, nay, that all know by hers, in part or all, but rather all. I'll write against them, detest them, curse them, yet 'tis greater skill in a true hate to pray they have their will. The very devil's not play.
Now say, what would Augustus Caesar with us?
When Julius Caesar, whose remembrance yet lives in men's eyes and will to ears and tongues be theme and hearing ever, was in this Britain and conquered it, Cymbeline, thine uncle, famous in Caesar's praises, no whit less than in his feats deserving it, for him and his succession granted Rome a tribute, yearly 3,000 pounds, which by thee lately is left untendered.
And to kill the marvel shall be so ever. A kind of conquest Caesar made here, but made not here his brag of came and saw and overcame. With shame, that first that ever touched him, he was carried from off our coast, twice beaten, and his shipping, poor ignorant baubles, upon our terrible seas like eggshells, moved upon their surges, cracked as easily against our rocks.
Why should we pay tribute? If Caesar can hide the sun from us with a blanket or put the moon in his pocket, we will pay him tribute for light. Else, sir, no more tribute, pray you now.
You must know, till the injurious Romans did extort this tribute from us, we were free. Caesar's ambition, which swelled so much that it did almost stretch the sides of the world, against all color here did put the yoke upon us, which to shake off becomes a warlike people whom we reckon ourselves to be.
Receive it from me then. War and confusion in Caesar's name pronounce I against thee. Look for fury not to be resisted. Thus defied, I thank thee for myself.
I know your master's pleasure and he mine. All that remains is welcome.
How? Of adultery? Wherefore write you not what monsters her accuser? Leonatus, O master, what a strange infection is fallen into thy ear. What false Italian, as poisonous tongued as handed, hath prevailed on thy too ready hearing? Disloyal? No, she's punished for her truth, and undergoes more goddess-like than wife-like, such assaults as would take in some virtue. O master, thy mind to her is now as low as were thy fortunes. How? That I should murder her? Upon the love and truth and vows which I have made to thy command, I, her blood. If it be so to do good service, never let me be counted serviceable. Lo, here she comes. I am ignorant in what I am commanded.
How now, Pisanio?
Madam, Here is a letter from my lord.
Who? Thy lord? That is my lord, Leonatus. Oh, you good gods, let what is here contain relish of love, of my lord's health, of his content, yet not that we two are asunder, but that grieve him. Some griefs are medicinable, that is one of them, for it doth physic love. Of his content, all but in that. Good news, gods. Justice and your father's wrath, should he take me in his dominion, could not be so cruel to me as you, oh, the dearest of creatures, would even renew me with your eyes. Take notice that I am in Cambria at Milford Haven. Oh, for a horse with wings! Oh, hearest thou, Pisanio? He's at Milford Haven. Read and tell me how far 'tis thither. If one of mean affairs may plot it in a week, why may not I glide thither in a day? Prithee, speak, how many score miles may we well ride twixt hour and hour?
1 score twixt sun and sun. Madam, is enough for you. And too much, too.
Why, one that rode to his execution, man, could never go so slow. Go, bid my woman feign a sickness. Say she'll home to her father, and provide me presently a riding suit, no costlier than would fit a Franklin's housewife.
Madam, you best consider...
Away, I prithee. Do as I bid thee. There's no more to say. Accessible is none but Milford way.
A goodly day not to keep house with such whose roof's as low as ours. Good morrow to the sun. Hail thou fair heaven. We house in the rock, yet use thee not so hardly as prouder livers do.
Hail heaven.
Hail heaven.
Now for our mountain sport. Up to yond hill, your legs are young, I'll tread these flats. Consider when you above perceive me like a crow, that it is place which lessens and sets off. And you may then revolve what tales I've told you of courts, of princes, of the tricks in war. Ah, this life is nobler than attending for a check, richer than doing nothing for a bauble, prouder than rustling in unpaid for silk.
We poor unfledged have never winged from view of the nest, nor know not what airs from home. Happily, this life is best, if quiet life be best. But unto us it is a cell of ignorance.
What would we speak of when we are as old as you? We have seen nothing. We are beastly, sullen as a fox for prey, like warlike as the wolf for what we eat. Our valor is to chase what flies.
Oh, boys, this story the world may read in me. My body's marked with Roman swords, and my report was once first with the best of note. Cymbeline loved me. And when a soldier was the theme, my name was not far off. Then I was as a tree whose boughs did bend with fruit. But in one night, storm or robbery, call it what you will, shook down my mellow hangings, nay, my leaves, and left me bare to weather.
Uncertain favor.
My fault being nothing, as I've told you oft, but that 2 villains whose false oaths prevailed before my perfect honour swore to Cymbeline I was confederate with the Romans. So followed my banishment, and this 20 years, this rock and these demesnes have been my world. But up to the mountains! This is not hunter's language. He that strikes the venison first shall be lord of the feast. How hard it is to hide the sparks of nature. These boys know little they are sons of the king, nor Cymbeline dreams not that they're alive. They think they're mine, and though trained up thus meanly in the cave or in their bower, their thoughts do hit the roof of palaces. This Polydore, the heir of Cymbeline and Britain, with a king his father called Guiderius, Jove, when on my 3-foot stool I sit and tell the warlike feats I've done, his spirits fly out into my story. Even then, the princely blood flows in his cheek. The younger brother, Gadwal, once Arviragus, in as like a figure, strikes life into my speech. Cymbeline, heaven and my conscience knows thou didst unjustly banish me, whereon at 3 and 2 years old I stole these babes, thinking to bar thee of succession as thou rept'st me of my lands. Euryphile, thou wast their nurse. They took thee for their mother, and every day do honour to your grave. Myself, Belarius, that I'm Morgan called, they take for natural father. Ooh, the game is up.
Thou toldst me when we came from horse, the place was near at hand. Pisanio, man, where is Posthumous? What is in thy mind that makes thee stare thus? Wherefore breaks that sigh from the inward of thee?
Please you read, and you shall find me, wretched man, a thing the most disdained of fortune.
Thy mistress Pisanio hath played the strumpet in my bed. The testimonies whereof lie bleeding in me. I speak not out of weak surmises, but from proof as strong as my grief and as certain as I expect my revenge. That part thou, Pisanio, must act for me. If thy faith be not tainted with the breach of hers, let thine own hands take away her life. I shall give thee opportunity at Milford Haven. She hath my letter for the purpose where, if thou fear to strike and to make me certain it is done, thou art the pander to her dishonor and equally to me disloyal.
What shall I need draw a sword? The paper hath cut her throat already. No, 'tis slander, whose edge is sharper than a sword, whose tongue outvenoms all the worms of Nile. What cheer, madam?
False to his bed? What is it to be false? To lie and watch there and to think on him, to weep twixt clock and clock, that's false to his bed, is it?
Alas, good lady.
Aye, false. Thy conscience witness. Iachimo, thou didst accuse him of incontinency. Thou then lookst like a villain. Now methinks thy favor's good enough. Oh, some jay of Italy whose mother was her painting hath betrayed him. Oh, men's vows are women's traitors.
Good madam, hear me.
I draw the sword myself. Take it, and hit the innocent mansion of my love, my heart. Fear not, 'tis empty of all things but grief. Thy master is not there, who was indeed the riches of it. Do his bidding. Strike.
Hence, vile instrument, thou shalt not damn my hand.
Why, I must die. And if I do not by thy hand, thou art no servant of thy master's. 'Gainst self-slaughter there is a prohibition so divine that cravens my weak hand. Come, here's my heart, prithee, dispatch. The lamb entreats the butcher. Where's thy knife? Thou art too slow to do thy master's bidding when I desire it too.
Gracious lady, since I have received command to do this business, I have not slept one wink.
Do it and to bed then.
I'll wake mine eyeballs blind first.
Wherefore then didst undertake it? Why hast thou abused so many miles with a pretense?
But to win time, to lose so bad employment, in the which I have considered of a course. Good lady, hear me with patience.
Talk thy tongue weary. Speak, I have heard I am a strumpet, and mine ear therein false struck can take no greater wound, nor tent to bottom that. But speak.
Then, madam, I thought you would not back again.
Most like bringing me here to kill me.
It cannot be, but that my master is abused. Some villain, aye, and singular in his art, hath done you both this cursed injury.
Some Roman courtesan.
No, on my life. I'll give but notice you are dead, and send him some bloody sign of it, for 'tis commanded I should do so. You shall be missed at court, and that will well confirm it.
Why, good fellow, what shall I do in the where abide, how live? Or in my life, what comfort when I am dead to my husband?
If you'll back to court.
No court, no court. No, father, nor no more ado with that harsh, noble, simple nothing, that Cloten, whose love suit hath been to me as fearful as a siege.
If not at court, then not in Britain must you bide.
Where then? Hath Britain all the sun that shines, day, night, are they not but in Britain?
The ambassador, Lucius the Roman, comes to Milford Haven tomorrow. Now, if you could wear a mind dark as your fortune is, and but disguise that which to appear itself must not yet be, but by self-danger, you should tread a course pretty and full of you. You must forget to be a woman. Change command into obedience. Fear and niceness, the handmaids of all women, or more truly, woman, its pretty self, into a waggish courage, ready in jibes, quick answered, saucy and as querulous as the weasel.
Nay, be brief. I see into thy end, and am almost a man already.
First, make yourself but like one. Forethinking this, I have already fit, 'tis in my cloak bag, doublet, hat, hose, all that answer to them. For noble Lucius, Present yourself, desire his service. Doubtless with joy he will embrace you, for he's honorable, and doubling that most holy.
Thou art all the comfort the gods will diet me with. Prithee, away. This attempt I am soldier to, and will abide it with a prince's courage. Away, I prithee.
Well, madam, we must take a short farewell, lest, being missed, I am suspected of your carriage from the court. Noble mistress, here is a box. I had it from the queen. What's in it is precious. If you are sick at sea or stomach qualmed at land, a dram of this will drive away distemper. So to some shade and fit yourself to manhood. May the gods direct you to the best.
Amen. I thank thee.
Thus far, and so farewell.
So, sir, I desire of you a conduct over land to Milford Haven. Madam, all joy befall your grace.
And you.
Your hand, my lord?
Receive it friendly, but this time forth I wear it as your enemy.
Sir, the event is yet to name the winner. Fare you well.
He goes hence frowning, but it honors us that we have given him cause.
'Tis all the better. Your valiant Britons have their wishes in it.
Lucius hath wrote already to the emperor how it goes here. It fits us therefore rightly our chariots and our horsemen be in readiness. The powers that he already hath in Gallia will soon be drawn to head from whence he moves his war for Britain.
'Tis not sleepy business, but must be looked to speedily and strongly.
Our expectation that it would be thus hath made us forward. But my gentle queen, where is our daughter? She hath not appeared before the Roman, and to us tended not the duty of the day.
Royal sir, since the exile of Posthumous, most retired hath her life been. The cure whereof, my lord, 'tis time must do. Beseech your majesty, forbear sharp speeches to her. She's a lady so tender of rebukes and words or strokes, and strokes death to her.
Where is she, sir? How can her contempt be answered? Her door's locked, not seen of late. Grant heavens that which I fear prove false.
Son, I say, follow the king.
That man of hers, Pisanio, her old servant, have not seen these 2 days.
Go, look after. Pisanio, thou that stands so for Posthumous, hath a drug of mine. I pray his absence proceed by swallowing that, for he believes it is a thing most precious. But for her, where's she gone? Haply despair hath seized her, or winged with fervor of her love, she's flown to her desired Posthumous. Gone she is to death or to dishonor, and my end can make good use of either. She being down, I have the placing of the British crown. How now, my son?
Is certain she is fled. Go in and cheer the king. He rages, none done come about him.
All the better. May this night forestall him of the coming day.
I love and hate her, for she's fair and royal, and that she hath all courtly parts more exquisite than ladies, woman. From every one the best she hath, and she, of all compounded, outsells them all. I love her therefore, but disdaining me and throwing favors on the low Posthumous, slanders so her judgment that what's else rare is choked. And at that point I will conclude to hate her, nay indeed, to be revenged upon her. Who's here? What are you packing, sirrah?
Oh my lord.
Where's thy lady? Is she with Posthumous?
Alas, my lord, how can she be with him? He is in Rome.
No further halting. Satisfy me home. What has become of her?
My all-worthy lord.
All-worthy villain. Discover where thy mistress is at once. At the next word, no more of worthy lord. Speak, or thy silence on the instant is thy condemnation and thy death.
Then, sir, this paper is the history of my knowledge touching her flight.
Hem.
I'll write to my lord she's dead. O Imogen, safe mayst thou wander, safe return again.
Sir, is this letter true?
Sir, I think.
It is Posthumous's hand, I know it. Sirrah, if thou wouldst not be a villain, but do me true service, wilt thou serve me?
Sir, I will.
Give me thy hand. Here's my purse. Hast any of thy late master's garments in thy possession?
I have, my lord, at my lodging, the same suit he wore when he took leave of my lady and mistress.
First service thou dost me, fetch that suit hither. Let it be thy lint service. Go.
I shall, my lord.
Meet thee at Milford Haven. Forgot to ask him one thing. I'll remember it anon. Even there, thou, villain Posthumous, will I kill thee. I would these garments were come. She set upon a time, the bitterness of it I now belch from my heart, that she held the very garment of Posthumous in more respect than my noble and natural person, together with the adornment of my qualities. With that suit upon my back, will I ravish her. First kill him, and in her eyes, there shall she see my valor, which will then be a torment to her contempt. He on the ground, my speech of insultment ended on his dead body. And when my lust hath dined, which as I say to vex her, I will execute in the clothes that she so praised. To the court I'll knock her back, foot her home again. She hath despised me rejoicingly, and I'll be merry in my revenge. Be those the garments?
Aye, my noble lord.
Long is that she went to Milford Haven?
She can scarce be there yet.
Chamber. That is the second thing I have commanded thee. The third is that thou wilt be a voluntary mute to my design. My revenge is now at Milford. Would I had wings to follow it. Come and be true.
Thou bidst me to my loss. For true to thee were to prove false, which I never will, to him that is most true. To Milford go, and find not her whom thou pursuest. Flow, flow, you heavenly blessings on her. This fool's speed be crossed with slowness. Labor be his meed.
I see a man's life is a tedious one. I've tired myself, and for 2 nights together I've made the ground my bed. I should be sick, but my resolution helps me. Milford, when from the mountaintop Pisanio showed thee thou wast within a ken. What is this? Here is a path to it. 'Tis some savage hold. It were best not to call. I dare not call, yet famine. Ere it, clean it, o'erthrow nature, makes it valiant. Plenty and peace breeds cowards. Hardness ever of hardiness is mother. Ho! Who's here? If anything that's civil, speak. If savage, take or lend. Ho! No answer? Then I'll enter. Best draw my sword, and if mine enemy but fear the sword like me, he'll scarcely look on't. Such a foe, good heavens.
You, Polydore, have proved best woodman and are master of the feast. Cadwell and I will play the cook and servant. 'Tis our match.
Oh, I am thoroughly weary.
I am weak with toil, yet strong in appetite.
Oh, there's cold meat in the cave. We'll browse on that whilst what we have killed cooked.
Stay, come not in. But that it eats our victuals, I should think here were a fairy.
Oh, what's the matter, sir?
By Jupiter, an angel, or if not, an earthly paragon. Behold, divineness, no elder than a boy.
Good masters, harm me not. Before I entered here, I called and thought to have begged or bought what I have took. Here's money for my meat.
Money, youth.
All gold and silver rather turn to dirt.
I see you're angry. No, if you kill me for my fault, I should have died had I not made it.
Whither bound?
To Milford Haven.
What's your name?
Fidele, sir.
Prithee, fair youth, think us no churls, nor measure our good minds by this rude place we live in. Well encountered. 'Tis almost night. You shall have better cheer ere you depart, and thanks to stay and eat it. Boys, bid him welcome.
Were you a woman, youth? I should woo hard, but be your groom.
I'll make it my comfort. He is a man. I love him as my brother. Be sprightly, for you fall amongst friends.
Amongst friends if brothers.
It shall be so. Boys, we'll go dress our hunt. Fair youth, come in. Discourse is heavy, fasting. When we've supped, we'll mannerly demand thee of thy story, so far as thou wilt speak it.
Thanks, sir.
I'm near to the place where they should meet if Pisanio have mapped it truly. How fit his garments serve me. Why should his mistress, who was made by him that made the tailor, not be fit to? Posthumous, thy head, which now is growing upon thy shoulders, shall within this hour be off. Thy mistress enforced, thy garments cut to pieces before thy face, and all this done, spurn her home to her father, who may haply be a little angry for my so rough usage. But my mother, having power of his testiness, shall turn all into my commendations. My horse is tied up safe, outsword, and to a sore purpose. Fortune put them into my hand. This is the very description of their meeting place, and the fellow dares not deceive me.
You're not well. Remain here in the cave. We'll come to you after hunting.
Brothers, stay here. Are we not brothers?
Go you to hunting. I'll abide with him.
So sick I am not, yet I am not well. So please you leave me. I am ill, but your being by me cannot amend me.
Well, I love thee. I've spoken how much the quantity, the weight as much as I do love my father.
Brother, farewell.
I wish you sport.
You health. So please you, sir.
These are kind creatures. Gods, what lies I have heard. Our courtiers say all savage but at court. Experience, oh, thou disprovest report. I am sick still, heart sick. Oh, Pisanio, I'll now taste of thy drug.
To the field, to the field. We'll leave you for this time. Go in and rest.
Will not be long way.
Pray be not sick, for you must be our housewife.
Well or ill, I am bound to you.
This youth, however distressed, appears he hath had good ancestors. Who's there?
I cannot find those runagates. That villain hath mocked me. I am faint.
Those runagates? Means he not us? I partly know him. 'Tis Cloten, the son of the queen. I fear some ambush. I saw him not these many years, and yet I know 'tis he. We're held as outlaws. Hence!
He is but one. You and my brother search what companies are near. Pray you, away. Let me alone with him.
So, what are you that fly me thus? Some villain in mountaineers? I've heard of such. Thou art a robber, a lawbreaker, a villain. Yield thee, thief.
To who? To thee? Say what thou art. Why should I yield to thee?
Thou villain base knowest me not by my clothes?
No, nor thy tailor, rascal.
Thou precious varlet, my tailor made them not.
Well, hence then, and thank the man that gave them thee. If thou art some fool, I'm loath to beat thee.
Thou injurious thief, hear but my name and tremble!
What's thy name?
Cloten, thou villain.
Cloten, thou double villain, be thy name, I cannot tremble at it. Were it toad or adder or spider, 'twould move me sooner.
To thy further fear, nay, to thy mere confusion, thou shalt know I am son to the queen.
Oh, I'm sorry for it, not seeming so worthy as thy birth.
Art not a fear?
Those that I reverence, those I fear, the wise. And fools, I laugh, not fear them.
Hide the death. When I have slain thee with my proper hand, I'll follow those that even now fled hence, and on the gates of Ludstown set your heads. Yield, rustic mountaineer.
No companies abroad?
None in the world. You did mistake him, sure?
Now, I am absolute. 'Twas very Cloten. But see, thy brother.
Oh, this Cloten. This Cloten was a fool. An empty purse. There was no money in it. And not Hercules could have knocked out his brains, for he had none. Yet I, not doing this, the fool had borne my head as I do his.
What hast thou done?
I'm perfect. What, cut off one Cloten's head, son to the queen, after his own report?
We're all undone.
Why, worthy father, what have we to lose but that he swore to take our lives? The law protects not us. What company discover you abroad?
No single soul can we set eye on, but in all safe reason, he must have some attendants.
With his own sword, which he did wave 'gainst my throat, I've ta'en his head from him. I'll throw it in the creek behind our rock and let it to the sea and tell the fishes, hey, this is the queen's son, Cloten. That's all I reck.
I fear 'twill be revenged. Would, Polydore, thou hadst not done it, though valor becomes thee well enough.
I had done it, so the revenge alone pursued me. Polydore, I love thee brotherly, but envy much thou hast robbed me of the deed.
Well, 'tis done. We'll hunt no more today, nor seek for danger where there's no profit. I prithee, to our rock. You and Fideli play the cooks. I'll stay till hasty Polydore return, and bring him to dinner presently.
Poor sick Fideli.
O thou goddess, thou divine nature, how thyself thou blazonst in these two princely boys.
Where's my brother? I've sent Cloten's clot pole down the stream, an embassy to his mother. His body is hostage for his return.
My ingenious instrument, hark, Polydore, it sounds. But what occasion hath Codwal now to give it motion? Hark!
What does he mean? Since death of my dearest mother, did not speak before.
Look, here he comes, and brings the dire occasion in his arms of what we blame him for.
The bird is dead that we have made so much on.
Oh, sweetest, fairest lily.
Oh, melancholy, how found you him?
Stark, as you see.
Where?
On the floor.
Why, he but sleeps. Look, if he be gone, he'll make his grave a bed. With female fairies will his tomb be haunted, and worms will not come to thee.
With fairest flowers while summer lasts, and I live here, Fideli, I'll sweeten thy sad grave.
Let us bury him, and not protract with admiration what is now due death. To the grave.
Say, where shall's lay him?
By good Euryphile, our mother.
That's so, and let us, Polydore, though now our voices have got the mannish crack, sing him to the ground. As once our mother, used like note and words, save the Euryphile must be Fideli.
Great griefs I see, medicine the less, for Cloten is quite forgot. He was a queen's son, boys. Our foe was princely, and though you took his life as being our foe, yet bury him as a prince.
Pray, fetch him hither.
I'll go fetch him. We'll say our song. The waltz, brother. Begin.
We have done our obsequies. Come, lay him down.
Here's a few flowers, but about midnight more. The ground that gave them first has them again. Their pleasures here are past, so is their pain.
Yes, sir, to Milford Haven, which is the way? They've gone all night. Faith, I'll lay down and sleep. But soft, no bedfellow. Oh, gods and goddesses. These flowers are like the pleasures of the world, this bloody man, the care on't. I hope I dream. A headless man. The garments of Posthumous, I know the shape of his leg. This is his hand. Oh, Posthumous, alas, where is thy head? How should this be? Pisanio? 'Tis he and Cloten, malice and lucre in them have laid this woe here. Oh, give color to my pale cheek with thy blood, that we the harder may seem to those which chance to find us. Oh, my lord, my lord.
To them, the legions garrisoned in Gallia after your will have crossed the sea, attending you here at Milford Haven with your ships. They are in readiness under the conduct of bold Iachimo. Now this forwardness makes our hopes fair. What have you dreamt of late of this war's purpose?
Last night the very gods showed me a vision. I fast and prayed for their intelligence. Thus I saw Jove's bird, the Roman eagle, winged from a spongy south to this part of the west, there vanished in the sunbeams, which portends, unless my sins abuse my divination, success to the Roman host.
Dream often so, and never false. Oh, soft, oh, what trunk is here without his top? The ruin speaks that sometime it was a worthy building. And how? A page? Or dead? Or sleeping on him?
He's alive, my lord.
He'll then instruct us of this body. Young one, inform us of thy fortunes, for it seems they crave to be demanded. Who is this thou makest thy bloody pillow?
I am nothing, or if not nothing to be, were better. This was my master, a very valiant Briton, and a good that here by mountaineers lies slain.
Alack, good youth! Thou movest no less with thy complaining than thy master in bleeding. Say his name, good friend.
Richard Duchamp. If I do lie and do no harm by it, though the gods hear, I hope they'll pardon it. Say you, sir?
Thy name?
Fidele, sir.
Thou dost approve thyself the very same. Thy name fits well thy faith thy name. Wilt take thy chance with me?
I'll follow, sir. But first, and please the gods, I'll hide my master from the flies as deep as these poor pickaxes can dig.
My friends, the boy hath taught us manly duties. Let us find out the prettiest daisied plot we can, and make him with our pikes and partisans a grave. Be cheerful, wipe thine eyes. Some falls are means the happier to arise.
A fever with the absence of her son, a madness of which her life's in danger. Heavens, how deeply you at once do touch me. Imogen, the greater part of my comfort gone, my queen upon a desperate bed, and in a time when fearful wars point at me. Her son gone, so needful for this present, it strikes me past the hope of comfort. But for thee, fellow, who needs must know of her departure, and dost seem so ignorant, we'll enforce it from thee by sharp torture.
Sir, my life is yours. I humbly set it at your will, but for my mistress, I know nothing where she remains, why gone, nor when she purposes return.
This time is troublesome. We'll slip you for a season, but our jealousy does not yet depend.
So please, your majesty, the Roman legions, all from Gallia drawn, are landed on your coast with a supply of Roman gentlemen by the Senate.
Wow, for the counsel of my son and queen. I'm amazed with matter. I thank you. Let's withdraw and meet the time as it seeks us. We fear not what from Italy annoys us, but we grieve at chances here. Away!
I heard no letter from my master since I wrote him Imogen was slain. 'Tis strange. Nor hear I from my mistress, who did promise to yield me often tidings. Neither know I what is betid of Cloten, but remain perplexed in all. The heavens still must work. All other doubts by time, let them be cleared. Fortune brings in some boats that are not steered.
The noise is round about us.
Let us from it.
What pleasure, sure, find we in life to lock it from action and adventure?
Nay, what hope have we in hiding us?
Sons, we'll hire to the mountains, there secure us. To the king's party, there's no going. Newness of Cloten's death, we being not known, not mustered among the bands, may drive us to a render where we've lived, and so extort from us that which we have done, whose answer would be death, drawn on with torture.
Then be so, better cease to be. Pray, sir, to the army. I and my brother are not known, yourself so out of thought, and thereto so o'ergrown, cannot be questioned.
So say I, amen.
Have with you, boys. If in your country wars you chance to die, this is my bed too, lads, and there I'll lie. Lead, lead. The time seems long. Their blood thinks scorn, till it fly out and show them princes born.
Oh, you. Every good servant does not all commands, no bond but to just one. Gods, if you should have taken vengeance on my faults, I never had to put this on. So I saved the noble Imogen to repent, and struck me, wretch, more worth your vengeance. Black, you snatch some hence for little thoughts. I am brought hither among the Italian gentry, and to fight against my lady's kingdom. 'Tis enough that, Britain, I have killed thy mistress. Peace, I'll give no wound to thee. Therefore, good heavens, hear patiently my purpose. I'll disrobe me of these Italian weeds, and suit myself as does a Briton peasant fight against the part come with. I'll die for thee, Imogen. Let me make men know more valor in me than my habits show. Gods, put the strength of the Leonati in me to shame the guise of of the world, I will begin. The fashion, less without and more with.
The British and Roman army skirmish.
Iachimo and Posthumous fight.
Posthumous vanquishes and disarms Iachimo.
The heaviness and guilt within my bosom takes off my manhood. Knighthoods and honors born as I wear mine are titles but of scorn. And that thy gentry, Britain, go before this loud as he exceeds our lords, the odds is that we scarce are men, and you are gods.
The battle continues.
The Britons fly.
Cymbeline is taken.
Stand! Stand! We have the advantage of the ground. The lane is guarded. Nothing routs us but the villainy of our fears.
Stand! Stand and fight!
Posthumous seconds the Britons. They rescue Cymbeline.
Away, boy, from the troops and save thyself. It is a day turned strangely, or betimes let's reinforce, or fly.
Camest thou from where they made the stand?
I did. Lost, but that the heavens fought. An ancient soul, an honest one, the two ripening lads, more like to run such slaughter. These 3,000 confident, and enact as many with this word: stand, stand. Gilded pales, that some turned coward and to look the way that they did, and to grin like lions upon the pikes of the hunters. Then began a stopping surge, higher anon a rout, confusion thick, forthwith they fly.
This was strange chance. A narrow lane, an old man and 2 boys.
Made by the Romans, great the answer be, must take. For me, my ransom's death. On either side I come to spend my breath, which neither here I'll keep nor bear again, but end it by some means for Imogen.
Great Jupiter be praised. Lucius is taken. To stop the old man and his sons were angels.
There was a 4th man in a silly habit that gave the affront with them.
So she's reported, but none of them can be found. Stand, who's there?
A Roman.
Lay hands on him. A dog. He brags his service as if he were of note. Bring him to the king.
You shall now not be stolen. You have locks upon you. So graze as you find pasture or a stomach.
Most welcome bondage. My conscience, thou art uttered more than shanks and wrists. You good gods, give me the penitent instrument to pick that ball, then free forever. If I am sorry, for Imogen's dear life, take, and though 'tis not so, yet 'tis a life. Imogen, I'll speak to thee in silence.
Come, sir. Are you ready for death?
I am merrier to die than thou art to live.
Indeed, sir. He that sleeps feels not the toothache, but a man that were to sleep in your sleep, and a hangman to help him to bed, I think he would change places with his officer.
Knock off his manacles. Bring your prisoner to the king.
Thou brings good news. I am called to be made free.
I'll be hanged then.
Thou shalt be then free jailer. No bolts for the dead.
Stand by my side, you whom the gods have made preservers of my throne. Woe is my heart that the poor soldier that so richly fought, whose rags shamed gilded arms, whose naked breast stepped before lodges of proof, cannot be found.
I never saw such noble fury in so poor a thing.
He hath been searched among the dead and living, but no trace of him.
To my grief, I am the heir of his reward. 'Tis now the time to ask of whence you are. Report it.
Sir, in Cambria are we born, and gentlemen.
Bow your knees. Arise, my knights of the battle. I create you companions to our person, and will fit you with dignities becoming your estates. Why so sadly greet you our victory?
Hail, great king. To sour your happiness, I must report the queen is dead.
How ended she?
With horror, madly dying like her life, which being cruel to the world concluded most cruel to herself. What she confessed I will report, so please you.
Prithee say.
First, she confessed she never loved you. Only affected greatness got by you, not you. Married your royalty, was wife to your place, abhorred your person.
She alone knew this, but she spoke it dying. I would not believe her lips in opening it. Proceed.
Your daughter, whom she bore in hand to love with such integrity, she did confess was as a scorpion to her sight, whose life, but that her flight prevented it, she had ta'en off by poison.
Oh, most delicate fiend! Who's that can read a woman? Is there more?
More, sir, and worse. She did confess she had for you a mortal mineral, which being took should by the minute feed on life, and lingering by inches waste you, in which time she purposed to work her son into the adoption of the crown. But failing of her end by his strange absence, grew shameless, desperate, repented the evils she hatched were not effected, so despairing died.
Mine eyes were not in fault, for she was beautiful. It had been vicious to have mistrusted her. Heaven mend all. Thou comest not, Caius, for tribute. The Britons have raised out, though with loss of many a bold one.
The day was yours by accident. This one thing only I will entreat. My boy, a Briton born, let him be ransomed. He hath done no Briton harm, though he have served a Roman. Save him, sir, and spare no blood beside.
I have surely seen him. His favor is familiar to me. Boy, thou hast looked thyself into my grace, and art mine own. I know not why. Wherefore to say, live, boy, ne thank thy master. Live and ask of Cymbeline what boon thou wilt, fitting my bounty and my state. I'll give it.
I humbly thank your highness.
I did not bid thee beg for my life, good lad, and yet I know thou wilt.
No, alack, there's other work in hand. I see a thing bitter to me is death. Your life, good master, must shuffle for itself.
The boy disdains me. He leaves me, scorns me. Briefly die their joys that place him on the truth of girls and boys.
What wouldst thou, boy? I love thee more and more. Think more and more what's best to ask. Knowest him thou looks on? Speak, wilt thou have him live? Is he thy kin, thy friend?
He is a Roman, no more kin to me than I to your highness, who, being born your vassal, am something nearer.
Wherefore eyest him so?
I'll tell you, sir, in private, if you please to give me hearing.
I will, all my heart, and lend my best attention. What's thy name?
Fidele, sir.
Thou art my good youth, my page. I'll be thy master. Walk with me, speak freely.
Is not this boy revived from death?
The same dead thing alive.
It is my mistress.
Come, stand thou by our side, make thy demand aloud. Sir, step you forth. Give answer to this boy, and do it freely, or by our greatness and the grace of it, which is our honor, bitter torture shall winnow the truth from behind falsehood. On, speak to him.
My boon is that this gentleman may render of whom he had this ring.
What's that to him?
That diamond upon your finger, say how came it yours.
I am glad to be constrained to utter that which torments me to conceal. By villainy I got this ring. 'Twas the Leonatus jewel, whom thou didst banish. Wilt thou hear more, my lord?
All that belongs to this.
That paragon, thy daughter, for whom my heart drops blood and my false spirits quail to remember. Give me leave, I faint.
My daughter, what of her? Renew thy strength. I would rather thou should live while nature than die ere I hear more. Strive, man, and speak.
Upon a time, It was in Rome that good Posthumous, most like a noble lord in love, and one that had a royal lover, took his hint, and not dispraising whom we praise, therein he was as calm as virtue. He began his mistress picture. Your daughter's chastity, there it begins. He spake of her as Diane had hot dreams, and she alone were cold, whereat I, wretch, made scruple of his praise, and wagered with him pieces of gold against this, which then he wore upon his honored finger, to attain and suit the place of his bed, and win this ring by hers and mine adultery. Away to Britain, post I in this design, and to be brief, my practice so prevailed that I returned with similar proof enough to make this noble Leonatus mad, by wounding his belief in her renown with tokens thus, and thus averting notes of chamber hangings, pictures, this her bracelet of cunning. Now I got it. Some marks of secret on her person, that he could not but think her bond of chastity quite cracked. I have obtained the forfeit. Whereupon methinks I see him now.
Aye, so the Italian fiend I am, Posthumous, that killed thy daughter. Villain like I lie, caused a lesser villain than my a sacrilege thief to do it. Temp virtue was she, yea, and she herself spit and throw stones, cast mire upon me, the dog street to bay me. Every villain be called Posthumous Leonatus, be villainy less than 'twas. Imogen, my queen, my life, my wife, Imogen. Imogen.
Peace, my lord. Here.
Shall I have a play of this? Thou scornful page, there lie thy.
Oh, gentlemen, help! Mine and your mistress. Oh, my lord Posthumous, you ne'er killed Imogen till now. Help, help! Oh, mine honored lady.
Does the world go round?
How could these staggers on me?
Wake, my mistress.
If this be so, the gods do mean to strike me to death with mortal joy.
How fares my mistress?
Oh, get thee from my sight. Thou gavest me poison. Dangerous fellow, hence. Breathe not where princes are.
The tune of Imogen.
Lady, the gods throw stones of sulfur on me. If that box I gave you was not thought by me a precious thing, I had it from the queen.
New matter still.
It poisoned me.
Oh, gods. I left out one thing, which the queen confessed, which must approve thee honest, if Pisanio have, she said, given his mistress that confection which I gave him for cordial, she is served as I would serve a rat.
What's this, Cornelius?
The queen, sir, very oft importuned me to temper poisons for her, still pretending the satisfaction of her knowledge only in killing creatures vile, as cats and dogs of no esteem. I, dreading that her purpose was of more danger, did compound for her a certain stuff which, being ta'en, would cease the present power of life, but in short time all offices of nature should again do their due functions. Have you ta'en of it?
Most like I did, for I was dead.
My boys, there was our error.
This is sure Fidele.
Why did you throw your wedded lady from you? Think that you were upon a rock. Now throw me again.
Hang there, like a fruit, my soul, till the tree die.
How now, my flesh, my child, what makest thou me a dullard in this act? Wilt thou not speak to me?
Your blessing, sir.
My tears that fall prove holy water on thee. Imogen, thy mother's dead.
I am sorry for it, my lord.
No, she was not, and long of her it was that we meet here so strangely. But her son is gone. We know not how nor where.
My lord, now fear is from me. I'll speak troth. Lord Cloten, upon my lady's missing, came to me with sword drawn, foamed at the mouth, and swore if I discovered not which way she was gone, it was my instant death. By accident, I had a feigned letter of my master's, then in my pocket, which directed him to seek her on the mountains near Milford, where in a frenzy, in my master's garments, which he enforced from me, away he posts with unchaste purpose, and with oath to violate my lady's honor. What became of him I further know not.
Let me end the story. I slew him there.
Hey,
He
was a prince.
A most uncivil one. And the wrongs he did me were nothing prince-like. I cut off his head, and am right glad he's not staying here to tell this tale of mine.
I am sorry for thee, but thine own tongue thou art condemned and must endure our law. Thou art dead.
That headless man I thought had been my lord.
Bind the offender and take him from our presence.
Oh, stay, Sir King. This man is better than the man in blue, as well descended as thyself, and hath more of thee merited than a band of Clotens had ever scarf for.
Why, old soldier, wilt thou undo the worth thou art unpaid for by tasting of our wrath? How of descent as good as we?
My sons, I must for mine own part unfold a dangerous speech, though happily well for you.
Your danger's ours.
And our good his.
Have at it then, by leave. Thou hadst, great king, a subject who was called Belarius.
What of him? He is a banished traitor.
He it is that hath assumed, indeed, a bad man. I'm not how a traitor.
Take him hence, the whole world will not save him.
Not too hot. First pay me for the nursing of thy sons.
Nursing of my sons?
I am too blunt and saucy. Look, here's my knee. Mighty sir, these two young gentlemen that call me father and think they are my sons are none of mine. They are the issue of your loins, my liege, and blood of your begetting.
How? My issue?
So sure as you, your fathers. I, old Morgan, am that Belarius whom you sometime banished. Your pleasure was my mere offence. My punishment itself, all my treason. That I suffered was all the harm I did. These gentle princes, for such though they are, these 20 years have I trained up. Those arts they have as I could put into them. My breeding was, sir, as your highness knows. Their nurse, Euryphile, whom for the theft I wedded, stole these children upon my banishment. But gracious sir, here are your sons again, and I must lose two of the sweetest companions in the world.
I lost my children. These be they. I know not how to wish a pair of worthier sons.
Be pleased a while. This gentleman, whom I call Polydore, most worthy prince as yours, true Guiderius. This gentleman, my Cudwell, of Arviragus, your younger princely son.
Guiderius had upon his neck a mole, a sanguine star. It was a mark of wonder.
This is he who hath upon him still that natural stamp.
Oh, what am I? A mother to the birth of 3? Now, mother, rejoice, deliverance more. Blessed pray you be that after this strange starting from your orbs may reign in them now. Oh, Imogen, thou hast lost by this a kingdom.
No, my lord, I have got 2 worlds by it. Oh, my gentle brothers, have we thus met? Oh, never say hereafter, but I am truest speaker. You called me brother when I was but your sister. I you brothers when you were so indeed.
Did you e'er meet?
Aye, my good lord.
And at first meeting loved, continued so, till we thought he died.
By the queen's dram she swallowed.
Where? How lived you? And when came you to serve a Roman captive? How parted you from your brothers? How first met them who fled you from court and with their head? Nor the time nor place will serve our long interrogatory. See, all right, see, Posthumous anchors upon Imogen, and she, like harmless lightning, throws her eye on him, her brother, me, her master, hitting each object with a joy that counterchanges severally in all. Thou art my brother, so will hold thee ever.
You are my father too, and did relieve me to see this gracious season.
All joyed, save these in bonds. Now, let them be joyful too, for they shall taste our comfort.
Oh, my good master, I will yet do you service.
Happy be you.
The forlorn soldier that so nobly fought, he would have well become this place and graced the thankings of a king.
I am, sir, the soldier that did company these three in poor beseeming. 'Twas a fitment for the purpose I. That I was he. Speak, Iachimo. I had you down and might have made you fish.
I'm down again. But now my heavy conscience sinks my knee, as then you're forced to take that life, beseech you, which I so often owe. But first, your ring, and here the bracelet of the truest princess that ever swore her faith.
Kneel.
Kneel not to me. The power that I have you is to spare you. The malice towards you, to forgive you, live, and deal with others better.
Nobly doomed. We'll learn our freeness of a son-in-law. Pardons the word to all.
You help us, sir, as you did mean indeed to be our brother. Joyed are we that you are.
Your servant.
Well, my piece we will begin. And Caius Lucius, although the victor, we submit to Caesar and to the Roman Empire, promising to pay our wonted tribute, from the which we were dissuaded by our wicked queen, whom heaven's injustice both on her and hers have laid a most heavy hand.
The fingers of the powers above do tune the harmony of this piece, the vision which I made known to Lucius, ere the stroke of this yet scarce cold battle, at this instant is full accomplished. For the Roman's eagle from south to west on wings soaring aloft lessened herself, and in the beams of the sun so vanished, which foreshowed our princely eagle, the imperial Caesar should again unite his favor with the radiant Cymbeline, which shines here in the west.
Laud we the gods, and let our crooked smokes climb to their nostrils from our blessed altars, and in the temple of great Jupiter our peace will ratify. Seal it with feasts. Set on there! Never was a war did cease ere bloody hands were washed with such a peace.
Hello, thank you all so much for watching. That was really fun. So as we do with all of our post shows, first let's take a moment to thank all of these amazing actors. Give yourselves a little round. Well done. That was awesome. And Josh, I really do need you to read me to sleep every single night with that mic. It is the most soothing sound I've had.
I already do.
Wow. So we're going to start off with some questions, and we're going to ask first to the actors here. While you out there watching, you can answer these in the comments section. And we're also hoping to get 1 or 2 questions from you for the company. We're going to keep this to no more than 5 or 10 minutes. And we're going to ask the actors, they only get 90 seconds as a group to answer these questions. So we'll see how that goes. First, what did you learn about this play, Cymbeline, that you didn't know before?
I don't know why people don't do this show more often.
I didn't realize how much it jumps around from place to place to place in the blink of an eye.
Mm.
Which it throws me a little bit. I'm sitting now, granted it's part of the cut, but it's sort of like, well, we're here, we're in England, Britain, now we're in Rome, now we're back. It's got the best international flight plans in the history of Shakespeare.
Shakespeare wrote this after Othello, and I had the feeling that he was like trying to maybe redo Othello with a happy ending.
Oh, interesting. Oh. We have about 15 seconds left for the cast. Anybody else want to jump in there?
This is my first time reading it when I found out I was reading this. Not today, obviously, but like this week. I had never read it before.
Me too.
So many parallels to other Shakespeare plays for sure, but this one has a really beautiful way of executing it.
The Shakespeare jukebox musical. From our viewers, we have to that answer, we have of Pancake says its entire existence, which I think is kind of similar to a lot of what we're saying. Next up, what image, phrase, or word from the play popped out to you today? Again, we'll go to the actors first, 90 seconds. If you have something you want to say, beautiful watchers, please do type it in the comments. What image, phrase, or word from the play popped out to you today?
It's tedious to be a man or something like that. The Imogen's, you know, this is boring. I was like, yeah, particularly these days. Yeah.
I am perfect.
Yes.
Oh, you are.
That was a good one.
That line of Belarius's about his sons hit the roofs of palaces was really sweet.
Yeah.
Anything else pop out for us?
Yeah, I think I was struck by hopping off Drew's comment there, just about the number of times Belarius calls his sons boys or sons, or like the love that it was very new for me today.
Absolutely. All right, last 10 seconds. Great, jump into the audience. Amber Elby, the image that pops out to Amber Elby, my friends, is fingering. And for Deb Kinghorn, the image is the phone image of Cloten without a head, which I have to 1,000,000,000% agree with. I'm so glad my mic was turned off because I was literally hurting my ribs with how hard I was laughing at that. And finally, we move into, why does this play matter right now? That can be to you, themes in the world, anything at all. First to our beautiful actors, and then to y'all out there on YouTube.
Hey, it's not my fault. Come on. I mean, the entire end of it, it's like, well, you know, she was hot. So I'm like, it's like, you know, the buck does not stop anywhere near Cymbeline. That's what it speaks to me about these days.
I always think it's interesting in Shakespeare's plays watching a woman grab agency by whatever means she can, because he doesn't often give them much of a say in kind of whatever stumbling way he manages to do that. I always think it's interesting to look at, especially, you know, now as we get to re-examine his plays in different ways, kind of the ways that he succeeds and sometimes doesn't succeed at that by our, you know, opinions, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely. Anybody else from the inside?
Yeah.
First have to give women, have women dress as men to give them their agency. And this is now the second time I've seen Danny do this. Well done again.
All right, last call for the actors.
I think it only matters to shine a light, potentially in the same way that Kathy's talking about, on the sort of the reverse light of escapism. This place feels very escapist, and it feels very like fairy tale and very like, to me. So like, why can't that just be like the norm? And in a moment culturally where nothing is normal, I'm intrigued by that idea.
I love what you said when you were telling me about this play, because I knew nothing about it, that this would be like the one Disney movie because of all the archetypes put in. And then I saw you playing the part that you played, and I'm not sure I agree with you. But
well, I said if Disney had the testicular fortitude, it would do that. Which is a phrase from wrestling.
And on that
also,
note, going to the audience comments, we have EFS Peck, who says, the hope of reformation through the next generation. And we have Simon Boland, who says, don't believe all you're told. Definitely agree with those. We do have one question in from the audience, and I'll leave this to actors first, 30-second speed round, and then anyone who wants to answer from the outside. Why is this play called Cymbeline?
Oh, I want the answer to that, please.
Yeah, I was just gonna ask.
Laziness.
Yeah, why isn't it Imogen?
I mean, the
Yeah.
they did it, right?
I don't think at this point in his career you can call it laziness, right? Like, this is the same reason that Twelfth Night is called Twelfth Night and not Malvolio, as Richard III would argue. I'm sorry, Charles would argue. Nope, I'm done.
Anyone have a thought other than that? In the chat earlier to that question, there was it being positive of the king just getting top billing and it kind of defaulting to that being what we're left with, which does kind of resonate with the laziness. I mean, it's maybe even worse.
Was all's well that ends well taken at this point, or
right?
Ran out of titles.
Yeah.
All of the action of why everything is set into motion is because of the king's will, and he has a huge mind change in the process of the play. So I don't know, maybe that.
Well, that sounds intelligent and reasonable, so it can't possibly be true.
Yeah, I'm very afraid. So it's funny, Lear.
Right. We have one final audience comment, and then we're going to get out of here. Amber Elby says, because there are so many plays named after women already. So let's let sarcasm and irony end the night as we move forward into fixing that problem. Thank you all so much for watching. If you are one of our Patreoners at the well or top shelf level, please hop on over to the Cymbeline Company pub. We'll be there until about 8 o'clock. Some of us from the company having some drinks. I've got my little single cup hibiscus sour right here. Oh yeah, Drew is back in his pub again. This is exactly how we do it. If you're not yet, hop on to Patreon, patreon.com/Shakespeare Happy Hours. You can sign up now. One of us will be monitoring. I'll send you a link. You can pop on over. But thank you so much for watching. Thank you all again so much. One more round of applause for this amazing company of actors.
Thank you.
And we will see you on Monday for The Winter's Tale.
Ooh, cold.
Bye.
Bye.